You already know who it is. It's your boy the Goose, and we are back for episode number 943 of Pokemon Ace Attorney Edition. In the last episode, we started the trial, and in this episode, we're going to do that again. Continue the trial. We're not going to start it again. We're on episode 24. I just checked. Let's go ahead and continue. And we can pick any one that we want, but something's telling me, something in my brain is moving and shaking, and you know, I feel like I wasn't supposed to click 4, so I clicked 1. So I think we need to press this one. Is what we need to do. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? I remember now. So he was saying there's a giant fucking mirror, and we have to prove that he's either full of shit or the victim. Not the victim. The Victor Kudo, who was sitting somewhere that we didn't see him sitting. So I'm thinking that he wasn't in the seat they said he was, but I don't know, we'll have to get there. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat?
Mais bonsoir, it is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand.
Yeah, so they're trying to say that he's sitting there and it would have reflected like a mirror. And that also would explain why you didn't see the other guy. Is because if he was sitting in the other seat, you probably wouldn't have seen him if it bing bing.
If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, no? So that's the old seat he was sitting on that day, when the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does that seem kind of odd? And then you move the mirror. I want to see if I can get another sentence. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police?
Oui, exactement. I carried it out of the restaurant then.
You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself?
What can I say? I know how to pick up the things up and some.
That's crazy.
Dude, I actually laughed at something.
Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look like the obliging type, no?
Yeah. Okay, so then he says he didn't touch anything else. Are you sure about that?
I touched nothing except the mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene?
Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Huh. Suffering from a case of heartburn, trait?
Oh, I have just this thing for that, and oil with golden mirror and Frankensteins.
Add a few drops to your coffee and voila, enjoy. Focus, Phoenix, breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence.
It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You think someone would have, but Maggie didn't and neither did old Celie.
Then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. Okay, so again, my thing, right, is we know he touched the lottery ticket. Is there anything we have that can prove that? When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. That's the blueprints. That's the photo. And there is indeed nobody else there. I wonder if maybe... Do I present that? I think I need to present that. No? The fuck do I present here? Can I present... Hold on, save again, just so I'm on this statement. That was the seat the old man was sitting. Okay, that's it. I was right. I knew it had to be the vase, too. Your Honor, Mr. Kudo's words yesterday strongly contradict Mr. Armstrong's testimony.
This is the letter of apology that was written by Mr. Kudo, is it not?
I realize it looks useless, Your Honor, but this is still testimony. Ha! I guess useless people are only really good at identifying useless things.
What relevance does this scrap of paper have to the trial, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Kudo's testimony is actually very relevant to the question at hand, Your Honor. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Okay, good, they're letting me do the thing. I realize I thought probably the longest way to do that. I'm pretty sure it's that. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we've heard, Your Honor.
The crime photo?
Yeah, the vase, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering how I would get here. This photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist.
What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist. Heh, sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist in this photo?
It's the fucking... hard to present. There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there's an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all! Objection. Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly! There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribune that day! Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie! Mom, no! Objection. Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Objection. Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day.
In light of this revelation, we will return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear which he could not hear?
You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us. There was another man at the victim's table, and there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up!
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Alright, hold on. Let's go ahead and save over at least the top two. So we've got two options. I'm going to say the victim was a phony? I mean, it's either Mr. Kudo made a mistake. Clearly, Mr. Kudo made a mistake. Mr. Trite, you're the one who brought up all these contradictions. And if you're trying to tell us this old man just made a mistake, we can wrap up this case right now with a guilty verdict.
How about it, Mr. Wright? Should I just declare your client guilty?
Is that the best you can come up with, Nick?
Okay, hold on. Oh, the victim was a phony, obviously. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up.
And what is that?
The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. Okay. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. What? Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. What? Who the fuck could it have been?
Order! Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom!
Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you say?!
That's right. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Objection. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was...
The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
Oh! Okay, I completely forgot that this is actually what happened. Right, because they use Violetta. Yeah.
It's so hard to believe, but...
There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Objection. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true there were no other customers in the restaurant at that time, but... It's also true that the chef, Jesus Christ, that the chef was there. Fucking chef, dude, I'm a fucking idiot. He would have noticed what was happening.
That's right! Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Oh la la, this is most difficult for me.
Objection! No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Très Bien that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened!
The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurant that day.
Oui.
If he lies, I'm fucking whooping his ass.
La victim Monsieur Elk, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Mon Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for the phony to do the acting.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
What you have just done is committed perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please.
He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in a more serious trouble after this cross-examination. I mean, yeah. So, I just want to check something real quick. Between 1:30 and 2:30. So what I want to do... I don't know who the fuck the phony could have been, TBH. But I do think if I tab presents that. No? You kidding me, bro? No time for the phony? Are you sure? Because we've got... Hold on. No, hold on. I know that that detail is important. Fuck, I have to fucking press everything, dude. God fucking damn it. Was he alone at his table as well?
Mais oui, I saw him from Lucky John.
Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Ha! Unfortunately for you, Mr. Trite, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet.
Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. Okay. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, he comes here often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You're most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant on the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival. What time was it? That's what I need. Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe you. We were told by a witness yesterday.
The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir.
Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10, no?
Okay, hold on. Put that in your testimony. 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 I got you now, motherfucker! Oh, I got you now! Oh, I got him! I got him. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You're so dumb. You're stupid. You're dumb as a bag of rocks. Got you. I knew that was what I needed to fucking use. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
Quoi? What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery tickets.
Oui, that must be la show mon El was listening to.
I can't see any problem with that testimony, Mr. Wright.
I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu.
Get to the point, Trite, if you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life.
It's on the air at 1:30.
Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he'd won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum. Catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Objection. Quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this, Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead.
That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Objection. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. What? Now I presume you can prove this theory of yours? Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body?
Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence?
What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead.
Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elk concealed?
Inside Tribune. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribune.
Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. Here's the kitchen. The body was hidden here.
I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? And then we use this. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle?
No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found? Mr. Wright?
Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribune.
Cool. But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils.
But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication.
What kind of medication?
I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological clinic. Jesus Christ, they put that in the game. And was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Blah! Glenn Elk's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen?
Mon Dieu!
Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back.
No!
Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Glenn Elk?
Never! I could not do such an horrible thing!
No! Mr. Godot?
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my very cup. Listen up, Cheff. Jeez, I did it again! Listen up, Cheff. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend?
Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor.
Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish.
I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it?
No, absolutely no.
Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps?
Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel.
Oui, it is clear.
What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
The confession.
It is true. I ate la body in la kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me.
You were forced? By who?
I cannot say, or I will be erased.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table?
There was. There was another man.
I knew it.
Maggie was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy. Get him to tell us the name of the real killer. So, here's the thing. I know what it is. I'm gonna press him on this. And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong?
You know, monsieur.
Yes?
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment.
A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that.
And a bit too male.
I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it with evidence. Okay, so is the implication that even though it's not a contradiction, I have to, like, just present the evidence anyways? Because I will. Yeah, okay. That's literally what it is you just present the thing. You have $500,000 debt, don't you?
$500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong?
Oui, je suis désolé. I was weak and I borrowed la money.
This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. Oh, they just moved him over. What the fuck? He wasn't in that spot before. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you to do.
Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. The tiger. He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On la day in question, he was meeting la victim to demand that he must repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable.
Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
30 minutes.
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way.
Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
Damn, that's crazy. Can I save the game? I can save the game. I can indeed. Alright, so we got through half one. We got through the first part. You know what I mean? We did it. The fact that I've been doing this one pretty much without a walkthrough, I don't think I've looked up a walkthrough for anything on this one yet. I might be wrong about the very beginning. It's kind of insane. You know, I got a little goofed up the last time. But for now, we're at about the 30-minute mark. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.